So this omnibus is complete. That puts me through 108, yeah. So I am through chapter 108. And we had left off at 101, I believe, yes. So last chapter, I believe I discussed, was 100, when they escaped Logtown in the storm. Somewhat enabled by Dragon. Big mystery person, Dragon. And that I assume doesn't really make another appearance for quite a while, but we'll see. So this section starts with Reverse Mountain. So this is, as most of you know, this is the entrance, essentially. This is the entrance to the Grand Line, or it's supposed to be, and that's what they're looking for. Of course, it's not that simple, and apparently the entrance is somehow up a mountain. They go through a lot of explanation of how exactly that works, which is pretty cool. I don't know if it makes sense, but I can buy it for the manga. And of course, you know, that it's not an easily achieved thing, but they do end up, so apparently the Grand Line is literally a line of ocean in a certain area, and they're on either side, there's, I forget what they call them right now, but there's these calm areas, calm belts on either side of the Grand Line. And the calm belts, there's no wind, so you can get stuck. And there is, like, at least where they end up in the calm belt briefly, there's a ton of monsters, basically. Like these guys. Right? So your chances of getting into the Grand Line directly through one of these calm belts is very low. I mean, it's suggested that it's impossible, but I bet, you know, what's not possible? Is anything not possible in the world of One Piece? They choose to turn around and get out of there as fast as possible. I think they have to paddle, actually. Do they actually have to row like mad? And it's sort of chaotic, but that's how they realize they have to use the actual entrance, which is somehow really up a mountain. And I guess all the different oceans of the world converge here and all shoot you. It looks like there's actually more than one entrance. I don't know if that's true, but it looks like there's one entrance per ocean or something. And they converge here at Reverse Mountain. And once you get up the mountain through the channel and the current, it dumps you down the Grand Line, right? So this whole entrance sequence is pretty wild. I did enjoy it. It's pretty convoluted. I mean, it's not like it's hard to understand ultimately, but it takes a minute to like wrap your head around what's going on here. I'm not sure I fully get it, but there is, they literally they find the entrance. They almost miss it, of course. Luffy bounces them off one of the barriers that, I mean, this would be so impossible in real life. It'd be very difficult to navigate. It'd be awesome to see. I mean, I realize they're doing some kind of live action thing, which I don't know if that's a good idea. But this kind of sequence I would love to see done fully, you know, rendered out CGI that's well done. You could really go nuts with this stuff. Or it could just look terrible. Yeah. Long story short, they get into the channel and they get up the mountain. And then they start, I think they basically start heading down into the Grand Line, so down the other side of the mountain. And what is waiting for them there but this giant freaking whale at the bottom? This was interesting because, first of all, it's just like a very, it almost looks unreal, this whale. But I didn't think that initially. But the way it doesn't really react to them, it seems like there's something strange going on. And of course, long story short, they end up swallowed by this whale. And this is their entrance to the Grand Line. Like, the second they get into the Grand Line, they're swallowed by some giant whale that initially appears to possibly not even be a real whale. I mean, what is this whale doing? He's just sitting there eating anything that enters the Grand Line or getting in its way? We'll find out. But it seems like, I mean, I don't know how much traffic is coming into the Grand Line. I assume not that much because of how complicated it all is. But if it's anything at all, you'd think there'd be multiple encounters with this whale from people coming in and possibly, stopping their journey before it even began. So just really odd placement for the whale. Or is it? Inside the whale, all of a sudden, there's like a little island, and then, Luffy gets separated, and he ends up in an area that looks like it's, some kind of metal and wooden structure. It almost looks like a mine shaft almost, but it's lined with metal. So it just seems like my first impression there was this whale might be a ship itself, or it's not even real. And it kind of leaves you off to wonder there. And that is the story of how they enter the Grand Line, which was not even close to what I imagined that would be. Super creative. It's just impossible to know where this story goes, or especially how it gets where it's going. Eiichiro Oda is extremely creative, isn't he? And I guess One Piece is coming to an end. Has he done anything else, or do we have any idea what he's going to do? Is he actually going to retire? Or is he going to keep? I don't know, how much money does he make off of this, really? Does he have to keep working? I don't know. Kind of like the top guy at this point, considering how long this has gone, or one of them, right? Anyway, I'd be interested to see anything he decides to do after this, for sure. So I guess that means I'm going to keep reading. So if you want to know what happens next, or you already know, or hear me talk about it and maybe insert some thoughts, check out the next video. See ya.